So this is our pilot, our pilot for the I Want In series. And we want to reinvent the idea of personal growth and spirituality and the concepts of how we evolve and make our life better. And how interesting it is for us, 24 and 54, father and daughter, both on our paths, consciously on our paths, demystifying spirituality, finding our humor, and really bringing it into life. So I thought that we would start today with the topic that we've been talking about all week, which is we both do the breath work now, and you were trained in university to in child development, right? And working with kids. So we're both helpers in life. But we also have personal lives when we have relationships, and the interesting challenge of the difference between being a friend and being a counselor. You said you were at a party and you drove home and everybody in your car was drunk. But so I've often called friendship unpaid therapy.
I think it's difficult for all of us. And I think as a young person, like, we want to help our friends. But we also have to find those boundaries of, like, not taking on other people's stuff. Because it's so easy to do that, especially if you do have friends who maybe aren't those helpers as well. So you're not really getting that, like, reciprocal nature.
What do you mean by taking on other people's stuff?
Like, internalizing other people's issues. I mean, I think we all do it. Like, we see what's going on in the world and, like, we want to help, or we're like, oh, I feel so bad, but then we don't really, like, maybe do anything outside of that, and so it just, we kind of end up, like, internalizing other people's suffering.
But aren't you, as a helper, that's your gift, is that you do care. That's how you got into this kind of work. And so you do feel what goes on with other people. So what's the difference?
Yeah, but if you have, well, I think taking it on and not having a way of, like, moving through that and taking it on as your own personal issues.
So you're saying taking on other people's stuff is about identifying with what they're doing and making it like your own life.
Yeah, or, like, feeling like, oh, like, my friend really cares about this issue, and, like, I, like, just feeling guilty maybe, or.
Well, so I think because what I train in the breath work is that you have to be able to be able to be a practitioner, you have to, or facilitator, you have to feel what you feel in relationship to somebody else. Because I'm just some normal, neutral person. Somebody lays down to do the breath, and all of a sudden, when I watch, I get this experience. And I say that that's unlike sort of certain kind of therapeutic models. I'm not going to say I'm separate from it. I'm actually going to use what my own experience is. But the when it goes over the line is that you feel that other person's experience, and somehow you see it as your own work, instead of seeing that your work is to care about them and their process.
Yeah.
So that the challenge of taking things on is, and there's a conscious level and an unconscious level. You're more saying, like, at the unconscious level, some part of you decides that this other person's problem is your own. And I think what the interesting fine line is that because most people are going to train in effigy breath, or, they're already healers, they're already helpers. So you are naturally going to be someone who's compassionate or intuitive and feeling other people's things. But if you end up merging with somebody else's process and making it your own, you're actually not really helping them. Because you're not really teaching them what, or helping them to become responsible for their own process. But when you get close with somebody and you're intimate, it's harder at that moment to see where they end and you begin.
Yeah, or you want to do it for them. Like in the breath,
Yeah.
like you see someone like struggling and you're like, I just want to, like,
Yeah.
just breathe, just do it. And then in life, like you see someone struggling and you want to like take their problems and like
Yeah.
fix it and
Yeah.
then give it back to them. And it's like, you can't do that and while also fixing yourself or working on yourself. I mean, you could, but it's exhausting, and that's how you end up.
You know, I think it's interesting. Like, it's sort of the difference between giving someone food and teaching someone to farm. Like, where's the line? How do you work it?
I think I'm still learning. I think the breath has been a good way for me to learn of like when we lay down and breathe of recognizing my own stuff and like not taking on what's going on. But I think in life, like I'm still learning.
How's the breath? You're saying, well, probably both sides, but
just
but
recognizing like those unconscious patterns that I end up doing of like taking on someone's stuff and making it my own and wanting to fix it for them.
Do you have an example of that in the breath, like a specific thing that happened to you?
Yeah, I have a friend, and we were doing the breath, and I was like facilitating during that time, and she had been having a hard time breathing. Like she kept falling asleep, and she specifically said like, I want to do it, and like, but her unconscious level kept pulling her back to just kind of sleeping and not really doing it.
And I'm just going to interject that the sleep as a metaphor for life is like not necessarily wanting to do the work to be awake for her own experience in order to change it.
Yeah.
So you're witnessing that.
Yeah, and she had said like, call me out on it, like help me get to it. I was like, sure, I will do it. But in the moment of like her just falling asleep, I just wanted to I wanted to breathe. I was like, I just wanted to do it for her so that she could have that experience. And there was a certain part of me that had to sit back and say, well, you know, whatever's going on this unconscious level for her is what she's chosen to do. And there were certain moments where like my help of like, dude, breathe was really helpful.
Yeah.
But there was a certain level of like me sitting there and doing it for her was not going to do anything.
Yeah.
And so recognizing those kind of patterns was really, I think, helpful.
What age has taught me is that the reason why I want to do it for people is because of what I'm going through. So if I can recognize that it's hard for me to witness your suffering because I have resonance with it, that there's something that's suffering in me, that instead of trying to change, or unconsciously trying to change you so I can feel better, I recognize that it's in me. And then as I approach you to help you, I realize, okay, I'm working on myself, really. And then there's some balance between the projection and the merging with the other person's experience and recognizing, no, I'm doing my work. You're doing yours and I'm doing mine. And mine is I'm experiencing my suffering from this side. You want to be able to use the skill that you have in every area of your life, but you don't want to turn every relationship into a counseling relationship. You still want to have fun and enjoy your relationships.
I don't want to have to help everybody.
Right. But the nature you're my daughter, and I think that we're very similar, is that every relationship has an element of healing in it. Okay, well, thank you for doing our pilot of I Want In. Okay. Tune in for the next